They got me feeling like I'm academics. Can't
I'll know that we're on when I see the chat from King Academics, or not actually King Academics, the Academy pop up. I hope you guys didn't miss me that much. Okay, I'm getting some confirmation we're live. I know. I've been away. I'm here. Okay. So we're good there. Let me go over to King Academics, and I think we should be good there too. Okay. Do I got to hit him with the what did I miss? Wait, why is my chat not showing up? Hold on. Why is my chat not showing up? Hold on. I don't know why it's not showing up. Oh, no. This is no, that's kick. That's kick. And then this is supposed to be that. Can't figure it out. All right. Oh, we're back. Perfect. Perfect. All right, people. Let me just make sure this is accurate to what's being shown. I know I've been gone. I felt like 2 weeks. I would normally say I got tired of vacation. I actually kind of didn't. Of course, I missed doing content. It really irked me to be, I felt like a man without a voice. I'm gonna be honest with you. The biggest punishment I could ever get is if I couldn't broadcast. If I just had to sit back in silence and watch, that's the biggest punishment I could get. But anyway, I am back. Welcome to y'all. I know this a little bit early. I was gonna stream yesterday. Got home, there's 50 million things to do. I tried to still get on stream. Didn't really get to it. But I'm here early. And I'm glad that you guys are tuning in. I'll tell you this. We are about to lock in and embark on the second half of the year. This is a blank slate for me. This is 0-0. I think we had a first good half of the year. I think we did good. But now we have to finish the job out. We have 6 months to go. And we got to show exactly why we're number one. I'm not the proudest with some of, especially in that last 2 months with the lack of consistency, but we got to get that together. Obviously, I just came off a break. There's no excuses for me now. So, we're going to try to jump into this quickly. It's an interesting time for me to come back, chat. Really interesting time to come back. Coming back at this juncture, I feel like a lot of people just took vacation as well. If y'all don't know, I went to DR, had a great 8 days there. Amazing. I mean, I got stories on stories. I will tell you them as time goes on. Beautiful, of course. We had the PJ, loaded them up. It's the annual load them up, I always say. Great time. I got a lot of stories there. By the way, my Dominicans, I need y'all to holler at me because I was up in Punta Cana, and I need y'all to answer me on some questions I do have, even though I had a great time. I was then supposed to go party in Houston, which I was like, damn, vacation keeps going. Drake hit me up. I think it was the night that he was fucked up. I mean, I don't like bringing up everything we talk about, but he was fucked up over the passing of Tay Keith. And me and him, we had a long convo. And, it's kind of interesting. He was kind of even feeling like a little guilty because I think he said like Tay Keith had hit him up like 45 minutes before. And it was like, man, damn, if I could have fucking responded, like maybe, I don't know. Anyway. But he then invited me out to Houston, which, we were supposed to do a few things. plans changed a little bit, so we didn't get to do it. Don't worry, the link up again is gonna come soon. Of course, it's an OVO thing. You know what I mean? I want to let you know from everybody who's associated either with Drake or OVO or been a supporter of Iceman, and whether you might be a Twitter page or whatever. This is celebration moments, and I could tell you very clearly, Drake is trying to celebrate with all the people who have supported him. So, shout out to everybody included, but of course, the people he's close with. It was Chubb's birthday, by the way. He wanted me to pop out. Anyway, so that didn't happen. And of course, I get you know what I mean? I get the DM, you know what I mean? The hotline blinged. And of course, it was Daphne Joy. She says, hey, I know I didn't get to make the vacation, but I'm usually in LA. I'm in Miami. I would love nothing more than to see you. Don't tell me twice. I called the pilot so quick. Hey, reroute that bit. Reroute it. Reroute the fucking jet. Jet said Teterboro. No, Opalaka Executive. Let's get there. Me and her, we had a good time. It was her first time meeting in person. I will give you more details coming soon. Don't you worry. But it was great. Not going to lie. You know what I mean? I was not trying to fumble the bag, but I ain't going to lie. Yo, you know one of them forward girls? She's about that life. I'm going to keep it a bean. She's about that life. She's about that life, and I will say a consummate pro. I continually say. You guys will hear more about that conversation that we had. We did do something that's filmed, but I'll just say we had a fabulous time. A fabulous time. Okay. Yeah, we had a good time. You'll get more details. Other than that, I've been kind of just hanging out, watching hip hop kind of go. I think hip hop is about to get into a good place. This is why I'm excited to come back. I've always been the person that thinks that the role that you play in hip hop carries responsibility. Not to make this is not a Kendrick bashing session, of course, but I always just thought that when you eclipse someone and temporarily become the best rapper or the most, coveted rapper or seen to have be the clouded rapper, you got to put work in to keep this culture alive if you love it. If you're just one for self and you're taking, you're no worse than sometimes the people they call culture vultures who they claim don't add to the culture, just take from it. That's been one criticism. It's not a Kendrick thing. It's really of anybody who I feel don't help this thing go along. This thing called hip hop is the reason why I'm on private jets. It's the reason my mama don't work. It's the reason why their mamas don't work and everybody's living good. So when I see someone get in a place, and it's not about clout or you get to some place of elitism where it's you know what? No, I just get to pop out when I want to. If you don't help this vehicle go along, you're selfish. One hand washes the other. Everything is intermingled. This culture is no one man really could sustain it by themselves. There's important figures, but there's no one man could do it. Just being honest, it's not a Kendrick thing. I just don't like the fact that the biggest rapper doesn't want to do collabs. He doesn't participate in the culture. He just shows up to drop his albums and disappears. It's kind of fucked up. Luckily, Drake Iceman has done the job. It's reversed the flow of things. But I'm going to keep the same energy. I do think Drake, there's an incumbent pressure on Drake, and I don't know how he's going to handle it. But there is a pressure on him to make this scene thrive. And I get it. There's a lot of niggas who traded on him. There's a lot of niggas who are now, friends turn foes and they're ops. But he also can't be for self. You look around hip hop today, this is a time that I think where we've been getting a lot of criticisms about hip hop is start to turn back around. Young Miami, who's an artist who I wrote off. I said she was Diddy's concubine. She was nothing but a goddamn urinal. I mean, she might still be those things, but you know what? She got a song that's popping. Now, this is why I say everybody has to contribute. I don't really like that girl. Even though we've agreed that we would do an episode together, which never happened. We've had our words back and forth. But it's incumbent on me to let y'all know that, she got one. That's why I say one hand washes the other. Hip-hop it's a combat sport, but it's something that's mutual. It's not just one guy coming out and acting like no. It's collaborations, It's showcasing the next talent. It's highlighting the next generation. It's showcasing maybe certain other facets that would maybe not get mainstream attention if you didn't do it. So, of course, I'm not going to be salty and be like, nah, fuck that. Look, Young Miami, she's doing good right now. Got nothing to say. And by the way, if she came back around and be like, I told you, you bitch ass nigga, I got one now. She's right. I did the same with Glorilla. Again, this hip hop thing has fed us all. Anyway, beyond that, we have Future dropping. We have Rod Wave about to drop. Young Boy, he's cooking up. Kodak, I know he's going through a deal situation, a deal change. That would be amazing. And there's a lot of movements and music to come in the next couple of months. I'm extremely excited about it. Now, Iceman, I think, has set the tone. It's set the tone, but I've also encouraged artists themselves. Listen, I get it. Streaming is popular right now. Streaming, like you want to just go IRL with Adrian Broner and Dean the Great. I get it. But remember what got you popular. Don't give up on the music. Right now, I'm telling you, hip-hop is about to bounce back. People about to be outside again. Some of the artists you thought were done, they're about to pop back out. But only the ones that focus. I'm excited for that. Of course, I love the Iceman album. But if that's the only thing we got to listen to for the year, again, one man can't necessarily completely carry hip-hop. And when I mean carry hip-hop, make the entire genre poppin'. They could do it themselves, and they're popping. But again, at the end of the day, we got to care about the state of the culture. And I do feel like this is a state of the culture address, right? But then I look in media. I'm not going to lie. It was a really interesting time. I'm sitting on vacation. Got 8 bitches around me. Just off the private jet. We're having a good old time. And I ain't going to lie. I'll be looking around. I'm like, I've never seen my ops on vacation. Like, they're hard at work hating. They don't take a break. I felt bad being on vacation. I'm like, my ops don't take a break. I've never seen them on a commercial jet. I've never seen them on a fucking Greyhound. I've never seen them on a goddamn, what's that train that be going mad fast? I haven't seen them do nothing but hate dedicatedly. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, should I even be here? You can't have your ops out working you, never. And I'm watching, I'm like, these guys are working hard. Like, I've never heard them say, hey, I'll be back in 2 weeks with more Akademiks hate. Every fucking day. But I am also here, before we get into stuff, to pretty much also send a message to the people or the few, and it's really no particular names in general. It's mostly fans and, maybe some interested parties that might not be that big in name that I'm speaking to. Listen, I will tell you this. I sat back this time and I said, the op list has never been this big. It's never been this long. There's been times I thought I was going against people and going against the industry. It's never been this long. Let me tell you what we got to go up against. Of course, we have the likes of like Lil Baby, but that's rapper shit, right? Rapper don't like me, whatever. Not only having to deal with a rapper who's still kind of viable, we got to deal with that. We have the media who now, there was a fraction of the media before that was new media and old media. We've gotten to a new level where it's new media have colluded with old media to create this other media. And all I'm going to say is that I'll tell you this. My allies at this point are few and far between. That's why it's an exciting time to come back. They claimed I was number one in the media rankings. Now it's time to prove it, right? I'll tell you the hardest thing about it. Sincere moment. In the last year or so, I think you guys know my personality. In the last year or so, I've been I think I finally got there. I've had to divorce. It's like the line that Drake says, sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. It's like the line that Drake says about J. Cole, where he's like, yo, don't let your feelings, like, let me go read the line. What is it? Make Him. By the way, Make Him Pay literally is the story of my life right now. The one, okay. He said, what he said? How could you press the ignition and let some memories of the past affect your decision? And I think low key, with a lot of things, and I'll say people, I've been there because, you have warm memories and you looked up to this person or you had, good experiences with that person. But I'll tell you this, man. I sat back and I realized, and I think I understand the mission now. The mission, and without, not, I don't have to kind of subliminally say it. We're in the moment that friends have become foes, that idols literally have become rivals. People I've helped are now swarmed with jealousy and envy. This song is my motto. Make Him Pay is my motto. Because I could either go the J. Cole route and be like, well, I love this person. I looked up to them. No, this guy, I've always helped him. Look at this other guy. No, he would never turn. Or I just got to accept the mission, man. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. So, that's kind of where we are with stuff. But it's going to be an interesting hell of a year. That's all I have to say basically about media stuff. We'll get a little bit more into it. But anyway, nonetheless, hip hop goes on. I did say I did a quick gambling stream while I was on vacation or towards the end of my vacation in Miami. And I told you guys, I have no problem. Like, listen, I got no problem with giving media niggas smoke. I've always done that. I don't want to make my streams exclusively about that. What we do here and what I've been known for is really in-depth, accurate, well thought out, high IQ coverage of whether it's trials, cases, breakdowns of music, actually giving you actual industry information or education that could possibly help you. And this lowbrow stuff of, some of these guys who are just trying to shoot at me for whatever reason. I will say, it's a little bit surreal. I look up and, I remember about 15 years ago when I was like a kid and I was like fucking listening either to the radio or some of these people I was, just like, damn, these people seem so cool. It is a little bit surreal looking at them now, shooting at me like I have the ultimate power, but whatever. We'll get to it. All right. So let's get into some stuff. We have a whole topic list to get to. I know. I seen somebody in the chat say, you better not make no fucking excuse today that you ran out of topics. You haven't been here in 2 weeks, gang. You're right. We could start anywhere you guys want. The Pooh Shiesty stuff, I've actually low-key backtracked officially on that. Completely backtracked. Okay? Somebody said, Ak always bringing up 15 years ago. Yeah, because I feel like I'm the same person. Like I'm literally the same person. I'm literally the same person. Anyway. Actually, quickly, I'll, I explained this to someone recently because they didn't understand. I'm not going to get into the small stuff in the weeds. I want to break down. This is for people who are intelligent. Everything I'm going to say in the next 4 to 5 minutes is going to explain everything you're seeing. This is my complete ideology of everything going on. I think everything going on starts initially, and of course I'm referencing some Jay-Z and Roc Nation stuff just to let you know. But if you're wondering timing, you're wondering whatever. Nothing is disconnected. Also, I'm speaking to my audience for the other niggas who's working for the ops. And like, this is not me asking y'all opinion, because none of y'all been in federal court. None of y'all been having niggas outside your house. Just shut up, please. Just shut up. Let me tell the people what's going on, because somebody got to be honest. I've chalked it up. This is gonna blow your mind a bit, because you're gonna think this is too big of a thought to connect to too small of points. Everything is happening, chat, because this year is a mid-year. This is mid-year. Was it mid-year or midterm elections? I'm sorry. It's midterm elections. I've been armed with enough information to figure out what's happening. So what's happening is that Jay-Z, and I'm only speaking about some of the stuff you're seeing media-wise. It's looking weird, right? So Jay-Z and Roc Nation, they're in line to help the Democrats take back government from Trump. Trump is out anyway. They're trying to make sure J.D. Vance doesn't get in. The midterms are looking good for the Democrats. Why? Well, Trump went into this Iran war, doesn't look too good. Everyone's saying he's like some puppet of Israel. It's not looking good. Man. Let me tell you the play. Let me tell you the entire play. And I'm going to you'll figure out whoever you are interested in, how they fit into it. So you know how Trump won the election? And as soon as he won, because Elon supported him a lot, he puts Elon in this position and gives him some fake position and was like, this is Doge. Yo, here's Doge, Elon. Do what you want. It's basically a quasi-semi-government position. You could do what you want. Elon basically gets to look at the whole landscape, kind of gets to do a few things, make some suggestions, and also get in favor with Trump, even though Trump kind of betrayed him for a second. But what ends up happening, Elon's the first trillionaire. Remember, I told you, business as usual, and it's always capitalism. I'm telling you, maybe not to the level of Elon, but the Democrats, they're flabbergasted. They don't know. People like who are clear Democrats, like Stephen A. Smith, or used to be, he's even said, hey, the reason why y'all lost, y'all don't tap in with the people anymore. So the Democrats realized after they had people twerking on stage, whatever, Trump won because he was talking to people on podcasts. He controlled the narrative on these platforms that were talking directly to people. Flagrant 2, this and third. I know, I'm kind of dragging this out, but I want you to understand. And you might be like, what are you talking about? Trust me. So the Democrats this year are looking for the people to be their Elon. Not necessarily in donating money, but in influence. I'm telling you this because I know it. Roc Nation is going to be, or they're trying to be, what they have been for the NFL and what they have been for when the Barclays was coming to Brooklyn. We could sell salt to a fucking snail. Because I'm Jay-Z. Black people listen to me when I speak. The Democrats need this. By the way, Kamala lost to Trump. They had low voter turnout from black people. It's a key demographic of the Democrats. So they're coming back around and they're trying to fix all their wrongs. Well, one of the wrongs is Kamala didn't want to do like Rogan. So they're focusing on smaller platforms and podcasts and stuff like that. But Jay-Z is going to be the guy. Roc Nation is going to be the guy, or be the people. Desiree Perez is going to be the woman. And some of their affiliates, maybe some radio personalities and podcasters and YouTubers, will be their tentacles. Start with that top level and follow my lead. Well, how does this connect to anything we're talking about, Ak? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because the reputation and the supposed integrity of Jay-Z has never been questioned. He was always, you've seen it in the Epstein files. Do I need to bring up in the Epstein files, they said literally, hey, if you give Jay-Z the contract, no, if we get Jay-Z, we prevent what was happening at that moment in Sao Paulo, Brazil. People were rioting in the streets. They said we have Jay-Z for the black people for that. They won't do shit. They're not fucking protesting when Jay-Z tells them different. Now, whether you want to, that was a real email. That's to tell you how the top of the top thought about black people but thought about Jay. Just give him the position, give him the Super Bowl, they'll stop kneeling. Just give him the thing to control the blacks. Now let me tell you this. This is where it all went wrong. And this is why we're here. Because over the last 3 years, Roc Nation's, I call it approval rating, but let's just say what people think of them. The majority consensus is that they're slimy, they're scums, they're robbers and thieves, they're actually culture vultures, and to be honest, they do nothing but tear other artists down and attack other black, just say media people. This is not me saying it. This is the genuine consensus. Now, of course, there's shills that are going to be like, no, we just love Jay. Yo, did you hear about the 30th anniversary? Tell them to shut up. We got it. Listen, the problem with the campaign they're doing is that it only works if you don't have eyes. If you don't have eyes, it works. If you don't have a brain, it works. Roc Nation and the figure of Jay-Z, he's never had less power and less cultural equity. Remember that word, cultural equity. What's the proof? After slowly, people have just put out there, these people ain't the best. Jay's kind of for self. Look what he did with the NFL. Look what with title. Look what this. People have gotten off of the Jay-Z train. I know for some of y'all, the slow thinkers, you'll see where I'm getting to. Remember, I told you this is starting with politics. Jay and them wants to be aligned to politics. By the way, all of Jay-Z's shills, watch them all kind of lean towards politics too. Watch. Chat. I don't know J.D. Vance. They claim I'm Republican. I don't know J.D. Vance. I don't got nothing to say about him, good or bad. You won't see me over here trying like, oh, let's go talk about Jay-Z. You'll see them starting to drum it up. Why? What do you think? Okay. So how did Jay-Z strike out? And this is why all of this is happening. At this time where he needs to look strong and that his voice and that his influence is unmatched. He struck out when he was given a deal and a lucrative stake, all pun intended, in a casino that was slated to be in Times Square. You're going to start noticing some ironies, right? Casino, Jay-Z, why? Okay. Eventually, the people who ultimately had to approve, just like when he brought the Barclays to Brooklyn and people had to move from their homes they lived in for decades, they had to eventually sign off on it. Jay-Z's word didn't have enough weight that time for Times Square. They tried to offer and, according to one article, allegedly bribe one of the most influential people there, supposedly offering $20,000 a month. This is all facts. This is a monologue. You guys can look it up. But it got turned down. The likes of Charlamagne the God, the likes of Fat Joe were toe in toe with trying to get this going through. Supposedly, they were all promised tricklets and droplets of crumbs from the mouth of Jay-Z. Don't believe me? Go look it up. They did speeches. Two guys that I don't even associate with gambling. Two guys who I've never even seen them promote degeneracy. They showed up in a community that they claim they care for the people by arguing that a casino was right for them. Cool. Well, it all came crashing down. Their bid got denied. And it's the first public time Jay-Z's face card, cultural equity, credit card got declined. It got declined. Now, let me bring a few other things into it. Because you might be like, okay, so what? Well, Roc Nation is sitting back and they realized what the atmosphere was when they got declined. At that point, he was getting associated with Diddy, claiming that him and Diddy had multiple freak-offs with underage young girls, allegedly. His name was Dirt. There was a hotline brought up by Tony Busby that claimed that Diddy and his mogul friends were fucking all the kids. And Jay-Z was supposedly be the number 2 guy. If you look at one of the lawsuits that Jay-Z has filed after Tony Busby, you could tell he's very upset that his casino bid never got approved. You could tell that he has acknowledged that his stock and his cultural currency credit card has now been declining. He has sued him, I think, for the amount of like either above $175 million, claiming, hey, you messed up a lot of deals for me by making these frivolous claims. And you knew they were frivolous and you kept it going on. So I need some money. What were these claims? It's the claims that when Jay-Z showed up to these things where he had to give speeches, they're like, nigga, ain't you Diddy Part 2? They weren't trying to vote for no fucking casino. They were trying to figure out what Jay was on. You have the Jaguar Wrights, the Dame Dashes, the Oskinos. You have all these people who are telling supposedly personal stories about Jay. Artists who have been affected by him telling personal stories as well. Bobby Shmurda can't stop talking. I mean, Tory hasn't said anything, but you know how it goes. The father has spoken up. So essentially, Roc Nation / Jay-Z, I'm using kind of them as interchangeable entities. Their reputation is dirt. I want to bring in a few more names. This is all going to make sense. So now they've gotten their first L. A L that they're not taking lightly. They're saying, because our public perception is dirt, we can't even get a casino approved. Now, we ain't get to election yet. Calm it down. Okay. Jay-Z, who's also friends with Michael Rubin. Michael Rubin also has something called Fanatics. These days, we'll talk about Michael Beasley in a little bit. Everything is gambling. Jay-Z couldn't get that casino deal going off. Jay-Z and Michael Rubin, they're trying to expand Fanatics. Okay, Fanatics started out like more like a card trading thing, like fantasy sports for a while. Now they've opened a sports book, and they have now opened, because they have limited casino licenses. Oh, yes. So then we get a little bit closer to where the midterms is. The only person in media, or the person who they blame, to have danced on the grave, muddied the waters, dragged and brought up things they would rather bury are a few particular people. Nicki Minaj and her fans, the brand or the entities associated with Akademiks. And then there's another person, which that has a little bit more tentacles itself. Drake. I could spend an hour getting into each thing, but I wanted to bring you here. So Roc Nation, Jay-Z, we're approaching the midterms. They're going to try to have a watch. It's going to be something along with the Reform Alliance that's going to be government in nature, that they're hoping to get like that Elon role where it's like, oh, Jay is kind of government. He's like a government figure that's helping black people get out of jail. Trust. Okay, he gets to kind of fix shit, whatever. But before he could do that, he got to get these motherfuckers elected. And right now his name is Dirt. So the people who they're attacking are the people they feel have contributed to making their name Dirt. Now, it's interesting. It's been an interesting chess game for me. It's easy fighting. I always told you, if everybody knows, I start drinking usually about 8:30 in the morning. I wake up at like 6:30. 2 hours. Let's get it. When me and Meek had issues, and we're going to talk about Meek too, I dismantled Meek's career before I took my first shot at Henny. 2 hours. He's not that smart. It wasn't that hard for me to do. It wasn't that hard. My first little baby run come around, a little harder, but not that hard. Name any rapper who's gone up toe-to-toe with me. I'll tell you how difficult it was. This one, I'll admit, it's hard to fight an opponent that's not in the ring. They're not in the ring. I'm in the ring. They're not in the ring. They're a silent hand. They're absent. They send representatives and lawsuits. They don't stand across you. They don't even speak. So for some people, it's going to come across like, this guy's kind of losing it. He's making it up. Because there is a way where you seem so, when you throw the stone and hide your hands, and every time they look at your hands, well, there ain't no residue on the hands. Maybe you didn't get hit by them. Yeah. So of course it's difficult, but I do think universally people know now that the fight is happening. The fight is absolutely happening. And for the rest of this year, I don't expect it to get any easier. The shills, the puppets, the mouthpieces, they're all being dispatched. Just think about this. Just think about this. Me and Charlamagne the God always had a great relationship. How the hell is he now the mouthpiece for Jay-Z and Roc Nation? He's calling me, Jay don't think about you, Drake, nobody, huh? How are you stepping in the pocket for them? How does that work? Now, I'm not saying it's wrong, but we have to identify, if we're going to do this thing, we got to identify clear teams. We got to identify clear teams. Remember I told you, the thing with Roc Nation, this is why I can't treat them like I've treated the other, little peon rappers who I just had my way with. They don't seem to be in the other corner. They don't seem to be in the ring. Ironic. All the people who said Drake's a sucker for filing a lawsuit when Kendrick Lamar defamed him by calling him a pedophile now are in agreement that Roc Nation, through proxies or otherwise, should have media people up in court all day. They don't have no problems with that. They don't have no problems. But Drake's a sucker. We're in interesting times, chat. unfortunately for them, I'm very confident because from where I sit, never said I was perfect, but I think people are smarter than what they're trying to do. So the mind of the people are peeping what's happening and they're seeing what's happening. And that's all. Remember I said, I feel like that's as far as I could win. You're not fighting an opponent that presents himself. So they want to make it a me and Charlamagne thing. And then Charlamagne is like, he's playing like, it's not even 3D chess. It's like tic-tac-toe, like, don't mess with this other guy because he's like the main guy that Roc Nation and he don't like. All right, whatever. No, it's a George thing. I'm like, what? So now we have like Charlamagne the mouthpiece. We have like these other guys, but like, it's interesting. The rest of this year is going to be amazing. For the people who try to keep the narrative that anyone with me or myself is spooked, rattled, or otherwise, wake up. We've received the clear acknowledgement of what's going on. We're turning it up tenfold. See all you soon. All right. Anyway, let's get to it. All right. Why did people tell me there was like a leaked Drake song? Okay, y'all want to start with some music stuff? Yeah, chat. We just gotta. Hey, listen. I specialize in belt to ass. The only thing I'll say this. Only thing I'm gonna say this. Now, yeah, I do want to say this. When I mentioned that make them pay lyric, right? What was the make them pay lyric? Where he says, how could you press the ignition and let the memories of your past affect your decision? I got very fond memories of certain people. Here's the reality of it. Because one thing I know, I'm never a victim. But I know the people that y'all might think are victims, they're not as well. Here's the question that I would like everybody involved to answer. Okay? Now, y'all should know me. When I'm really at war, I'm not above anything. I put a nigga's picture up there with his fucking kid at a playground. Didn't care. Not defending anyone who's associated with me, but to the level of doxing where you're showing people's houses, addresses, and you're invasive into where they're sleeping, y'all better not have kids. Because if I was them, I know how I play. I would like to not go that far. And I wouldn't go that far because I still have some fond memories. But remember this. I'm the only one that don't got no kids in this situation. I don't got no kids, no wife, no nothing. So I just want to tell y'all, are we going down the route of having people in front of each other's houses? I don't have kids. I don't have kids because I love hip hop. You know why? I live this. And eventually I will. But this shit right here, I got niggas trying to kill me. I don't give two fucks, nigga. I'm glad I don't got kids right now because like they'd probably be, or a baby mama, they'd be targeted. But for the rest of y'all that live a nice little family life afterwards, be careful. I'll give you another aspect with this. once this, whatever, I don't know if this is this like a proxy war? I don't know what this is. People came to me. Matter of fact, I don't even have to say. I don't want to play in this realm. I'm telling y'all this now. But this seems it's a thin line. Not for me.
What's up, bro? What's up? Who was she on the? I'm gonna tell you number, but it wasn't because the number I got is whack.
Nope, that ain't it. Where is it? Is it this? Jesus Christ, I can't watch. Does everybody do like paid shit? Everybody's behind a paywall. Oh my God. Oh, this is it.
Service bad.
Here we go.
I him, but still out of respect.
Here.
On the Adam and Wack show, because he takes all the ad. One of the spies hit me. I don't know who they.
Okay. Okay. Now, I'm only even putting this up because, as I said, I'm in like a weird position. Charlamagne is going to war with my man George. You can call him George. I don't care. I'm telling y'all, the next thing y'all going to see is kids on the TV. Y'all going to see this. Y'all going to see wives. Y'all going to see side hoes. Y'all going to see this. You going to see that. I'm saying, let's not get there because I got a lot of fond memories. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I'm saying when I really got an op, that's what I'm doing. Facts. Like Ruri and Millie Moore, facts. But I'm saying I would like to de-escalate. I don't want to see no families up on I want to see no. And why do I say that? A couple days ago, Wack 100 hits me up. And he says, I think you're beefing with Charlamagne. They've given me a boatload of information on him. Info that you could use to your advantage. Now, in maybe a little bit more non-turbulent times, I would have probably even called Charlamagne and told him, like I normally do, but I would told him where it's from. Hey, Wack got a dossier on you, bro. Don't know if it's true, but handle that. These days, I don't know. So, what I say to Wack is, I'm good. I don't want to play like that with someone I've looked up to. I don't want to play like that. You got to give me a true enemy. And he's not my true enemy. He's dancing with my enemies, but don't know. Anyway, he says, well, here's all the info. Do it as what you may. Now, if y'all remember my streams, I even came on here, I said, because I do have love, not only for Charlamagne, but, Grant was just my guy. I didn't even tell this to Grant because I knew if I told him this, he would use it against Charlamagne, which I don't want to be done. Anyway, Wack went on his podcast and said basically what it was. And that's why I'm only bringing it up. But I do want to let you know, if you're wondering my demeanor to this, Wack presented me with the info and said, drop the nuclear on this nigga. And I said, no. And matter of fact, I won't even use this. And you know how they're passing around like some documents supposedly about like Grand Wizard and like me and Drake. And like they're playing like, Uno, Take Two and all that dumb shit. And they won't tell me who's in the game, right? I got info. And my guy who there's someone outside of his house, seemingly sent by either Roc Nation or Charlamagne, right? We don't know. I say, you know what? I don't want this to escalate. Let me not give it to my guy. I didn't give it to my guy. And I know Grant. Grant probably is like, come on. But if I gave this info to you, I would feel like I'm attacking Charlamagne. So I'm not. But anyway, the point is this. And, because it's public now, I'll let you know this is like where the nastiness of this back and forth is headed to. And as everyone is celebrating, yo, I'm going to put up this picture of your house and this picture of you and da-da-da-da. There is some reciprocation that's inevitably going to happen. And for the niggas in hip-hop that got kids and got wives and got, like, sisters, if I've never seen your kid's wife and sister, I don't want to see them on the net if I'm cool with you. Now, if I ain't cool with you, I want to see everybody. Facts. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I don't fight fair. But I have fond memories. Anyway.
Ain't tell them nothing, but they listening to it. They know my voice. Right? Because he had about 48, 50 days.
What?
Turn on. Look, and this shit is going, how it's going on. But if something is to happen to him, leave him here and roll whatever around and let him go. We knew when I see it.
From his perspective. Glad he's back. I'm looking forward to hearing about how this all went from his perspective. But
oh, yeah.
Are you keeping up on the Akademiks versus Charlamagne beef? Because I feel like that's something that deserves our